I'm Kevin Shaw, and you're watching the Watercraft Journal. Yamaha has been cagey about the real horsepower output of its top-of-the-food-chain Super Vortex high output 4-cylinder power plant since day one. Most racers and performance shops dismissed the stock-tuned SVHO as tuners revealed the total output as 250 horsepower. Despite the largest displacement 4-stroke available in the PWC market today, at 1,812 cc's, at 250 ponies, the SVHO lags well behind its nearest competitor, Sea-Doo with its 300 horsepower 1.6 liter, and Kawasaki and their howling Eaton TVS supercharged 1.5 liter, making 310 ponies. Interestingly, RIVA Racing's Jesus Garcia added a wrinkle to this mystery by explaining that while the SVHO delivers 250 horsepower, it does so at 7,300 RPM and generating around 7 psi. But at wide open throttle, the engine is a whole different creature. When pinned wide open, the SVHO spins up to a peak of 7,700 RPM, creating around 10 psi, which produces an impressive 285 horsepower, at least for a split second or two before the speed limiter kicks in. Yet, the SVHO truly shines only after removing the Yamaha speed limiter, where it'll produce 10 psi at 7,800 RPM, which is around 290 horsepower. So wait a minute. What you're saying is that all you need to make a Yamaha SVHO pump out nearly 290 horsepower all day long is to simply unlock the ECU? Yes, that's exactly right. RIVA Racing wasted precious little time in becoming one of the premier resources for performance ECU tuning in the watercraft community. With hundreds of different maps for thousands of applications, RIVA Racing and its Map Tuner X software has unlocked the hidden horsepower buried in more watercraft than any other outlet in the world today. Together with the world's largest catalog of proven performance parts, racers and hot doggers have never had better access to reaching insane speeds than ever before. While we weren't intent on setting any world records, we did turn to RIVA Racing for its stock OEM file with the speed and boost limiters removed. This ECU reflash is exactly as the name describes, an entirely factory stock fuel ignition timing curve with the RPM limiter moved to 8,000 RPM and the boost signal limiter deactivated. Otherwise, our 2020 GP 1800R SVHO was completely stock. Well, that is to say, no performance parts were installed. We did add one additional piece of hardware that was less about adding any sort of horsepower, but rather increasing the longevity of our GP supercharged engine. RIVA's Yamaha 1.8 liter engine breather upgrade is deceptively simple. Consisting of a small corrugated K&N filter and a pair of rubberized end caps, the upgrade literally reroutes the positive crankcase pressure from plumbing into the air intake to an open breather. Simply remove the decorative engine cover, uncork the factory hose running from the crankcase to the airbox, and point it in the opposite direction, tying it to the engine cover brackets fitted with the new air filter element. Then you block off the nipple on the airbox and reinstall the cover. It's really that easy. This addition ensures that the engine is no longer ingesting a boiling hot miasma of unspent fuel and contaminated oil vapor, which can coat the throttle body, valves, and pistons in this non-combustible oil, robbing horsepower and potential longevity. It's $35 and takes literally seconds to install, but can make a world of difference for your Yamaha's engine, especially as you continue to rack up the hours. Of course, prior to this, we put our 2020 Yamaha GP1800R SVHO up against the 2021 Yamaha GP1800R SVHO in the single most scientific acceleration shootout possible. We'll put the link up in the corner here, as well as down in the description, so you can watch it if you haven't already. At the time, we clicked off an impressive on its own merit 50 to 60 mile per hour run of 3.77 seconds, and a top speed of 70.5 miles per hour. That is, of course, until the speed control kicked in. And all of that with a full tank of pump gas 91 octane. Then we had Greenhulk.net's own Jerry Gaddis pull out his Map Tuner X handheld tuner and upload the new stock 8000 tune. Down in Louisiana's zero elevation and thick as soup air, we clicked off a hair-raising 75 flat mile per hour run, but failed to grab a picture of it. And in today's world, that's as good as it never happening. So back home, with a thick layer of ice and snow on the ground, we decided to give the Yamaha one last shot of glory. Although we were a good 480 feet above sea level, the air temp was 38 degrees out on the water, which radically adjusted our barometric pressure down to a couple hundred feet above sea level when corrected. Sure, it's not exactly apples to apples, but it was as close as we were going to get. At first, winds were whipping up the water too much to do any better than 73 miles per hour, which was cool, but well below the mark. Doing our best to find a patch of glass, we clicked off an improved 73.6 miles per hour, but dang, we knew there was just more in there. Suddenly, the wind died and the water calmed, and we clamped down the gas. With ice water running through the Yamaha's veins and a topped-off tank of gas, we ran a 74.4 mile per hour top speed run at 7,800 RPM. While we still attest that this is a 75 mile per hour upgrade, the photographic evidence that we can supply here puts it just under the mark. Again, that's at 482 feet above sea level, a 240 pound rider, and a full 18.5 gallon tank of fuel. So yeah, that's pretty dang fast, all things considered. And best of all, you can still take your supercharged Yamaha to the dealer for service, and most will never know that the ECU was ever unlocked. I'm Kevin Shaw, and thanks for watching the Watercraft Journal. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and definitely hit the subscribe button. It really means a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, please go to www.watercraftjournal.com, where new articles are published every single day, Monday through Friday, entirely free to you.